morning, Senator Hwang.
Good morning, Madam President. Good to see you again. It does indeed feel like deja vu all over again. I want to compliment the House and Senate chairs of the judiciary and the advocates for this bill. They have been truly passionate and relentless in that effort. I will be casting a no vote again today, and my vote was further reinforced by watching our House colleagues yesterday. Over 8 hours of deliberation and exchanges of thoughts and ideas leading to opposition and amendments. I was truly impressed by their thoughtfulness, by their engagement, and the exchange between colleagues of how a legislative process should be. And I learned so much. But I was also disappointed by the fact that despite powerful arguments against the legalization and what I deem as effective arguments against legalization, the vote was a foregone conclusion, or it seemed to me. It was passed. And unfortunately, all of the arguments and the effective opposition to this went for naught. It's really important, as I kind of talk about that, for us to fully understand the institution in which we are sitting in right now. We are an institution that began in 1639. We are, according to history, the oldest continuous operating legislature in the world. That is not lost on me, as I have had the incredible honor and privilege to sit in this circle, to be able to know that this institution is bigger than any one of us. And that as we deliberate, make laws, and impact people, we have the incredible honor and privilege to sit in this circle, to be representing the communities that elected us, to be their voice when we cast our votes. So I am somewhat disappointed beyond the chairs and the passionate advocates that I wished in those 8-hour debates and in our debates in this circle that we had more of a voice for those that support this legislation, for them to come out and share why they're voting for it, educate me on their rationale. Beyond the tireless effort of the good chair of judiciary, I wish I heard more of the exchange of ideas to persuade me why this could be a yes vote. But I didn't. Nearly 8+ hours in the House, 2 debates in this circle, I have not been persuaded beyond the issue of money, beyond the issue of logistics. I find that troubling. I find that, in my mind, a disservice to the incredible privilege that we have to represent our constituents when we cast our vote, to justify our rationale. I want to be on the record, and I know I said deja vu all over again, but I want to be clear. I want to be on the record to cite my opposition to this vote today for the 3rd time. That, 1, this process had no legislative public hearing and input from the Public Health Committee, in which I'm the co-ranking member on. I was eager to hear from experts on development, brain development, public health considerations. We all understand some of the important issues of why, yes, but we didn't have a public hearing on the public health and societal cost of this. So I want to be on the record to say that was a flawed process. Number 2, I want to reiterate the irony of this legislative body, that as we pat ourselves in the back, and the irony that we are fighting against tobacco and flavor vaping, and that we are proposing plans to fight the scourge of opiate and substance addiction, we're now going to pass a federally prohibited Class 1 narcotic. The irony should not be lost on people. For those very people that cast a vote and say, tobacco's bad, vaping is bad, Opiates are bad, but we're going to manage marijuana. The third point I want to be on the record is for people to read the damaging editorial that was submitted by Mr. Corey of Colorado, the major architect and proponent of legalization 10 years ago in Colorado. And for him to share the experience that Connecticut should learn the lessons of what Colorado has now confronted. I'll add in that the day's editorial and saying, why the rush? And I think the headline said, chill. Why are we rushing to implement something? Because the moment's right? Strike while the iron is hot? Because maybe when there's further deliberation and when people really understand what we are voting on and passing as a sweeping public policy that in essence allows the state of Connecticut to get into the drug business. Maybe if we delay and had other viewpoints and thoughts, we would draft something more protective of the goals of public health. I would encourage anybody to read Mr. Corey's editorial. And maybe in a delay, we will allow our clergy, the very people that offer the pastoral, as well as the recovery from broken lives of addiction and the societal impact that they need to foot the bill on, to be heard more clearly. We've not heard them. I've not heard in nearly 8+ hours of debate and 2 debates in this circle our thoughts and consideration for the very people that are down in Main Street, who have seen the ravages of lives broken beyond what it is possible for revenue for the state of Connecticut. So I want to be on the record to speak for our clergy, for those individuals that are healing souls, restoring lives broken. They've not been heard. And if we're talking about revenue, I want to be on the record to cite a recent article in the LA Times that said California, the great experiment in progressiveness, and I think Senator Kelly brought up a point that resonated with me. If Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, the state that profoundly impacted the progressive movement and drug use, hate to label that with California, but they now have to implement nearly $100 million to resuscitate a failed program, because one of the main purposes of this that I've heard from argument is we want to control the black market. But maybe we should learn the lesson that in California, we're losing to the black market. When you legitimize the product and you're looking to make money off of it, the industrious black market, which has always flourished, will continue to flourish. Learn the lessons from those before us. Do not be persuaded by the alluring riches of what could be. Learn from the lessons from those above us. We talk about New York, we talk about Massachusetts enacting it. They're new. They have not seen the resultant facts of this. Why are we not listening to California and Colorado? Wait, those results aren't the ones we want. The selectivity is not lost on me. I genuinely hope and pray that myself and those who vote against this are dead wrong. I really do. I really do. And I'd be happy to say, boy, that was bad on me. But if I'm not wrong, but if we not listen to these voices, these rationale that offer a differing, contrasting viewpoint, then we have abrogated our duty to represent the very people that sent us into this august institution. An institution that I began with great affinity and great pride, that I value as one of those most important jobs I'll have beyond parenthood, beyond being a husband, beyond being a son. It's an incredible privilege. And I hope I'm wrong. But I'll end by saying this. I'm going to use a baseball term. We've had 2 tries or strikes against this bill. It's extremely unusual. And I'm really hopeful for a reconsideration of people's votes. And maybe we can strike out this bill and reject it. But, but I hope for an alternative result. But using a baseball term, I hope at the 3rd strike on this vote that we strike out the legalization of marijuana. And I can continue to hope and pray. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Hwang. Will you remark further on the bill?
Thank you, Madam President, for the second time. And I want to rise to acknowledge the passionate oratory of the Chairman of Judiciary. And it is important for me to note, I appreciate and admire his passion. And I respect greatly his context and viewpoint. That is what I was citing. We can have different viewpoints. I can be passionate. You are obviously passionate. But through you, Madam President, I want to be clear and be on the record. We are having a dialogue, a difference of viewpoints. But we respect and admire each other, I hope. And we're having this dialogue. I truly do profoundly respect his viewpoints. We have differences. This is what this circles and this institution provides. I just simply wish we had more of it, Senator. I just simply wish we had more of the viewpoints, because I was eager to learn and to be persuaded to have a different result. I wanted to be clear on that this is a circle that I value. This is a relationship and colleagues that I greatly value. And I hope that we can strongly disagree, but know that we all have the same incredible privilege to represent the people. So I'll say that as a reaction, but also reaffirmation, and acknowledge the passionate effort and the great work of the senator from the Judiciary Committee. And even though I'll be casting a no vote, I want him to hear that I have heard him loud and clear as well. And I appreciate his passion. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Will you remark further? Good.